Hi! Thank you so much for joining me for your Written in the Stars January 2017 Horoscope. If we haven't met before, my name is Madeline and I'm really glad that you decided to join me. And if you're back, hello again and thank you. I will be doing your January Horoscope spread to tell you all about what's coming up for you this month, followed by a second spread called my Fiercely Focused spread, where I will give you pretty much an overarching theme for your month and some really specific action steps you can take to really capitalize on the momentum of the beginning of your year and really kind of avoid any pitfalls and just really make the best of what's coming to you, because that is what tarot is all about. I hope that you will find and follow me on social media if you're into that. I've linked all of my accounts below: Instagram, Facebook, all the things. And if you like this video, I hope that you will like it and subscribe, because I would love to hear more from you. And please let me know what you think in the comments, because I would love, love, love to know what resonated, what rang bells, what really didn't ring bells. Totally into it. Totally love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a very happy new year. This used to light up and be way dorkier, and that would have been more fun for you. But you know, either way, I get to fedora bomb you for January. But I'm glad that you decided to join me, and I hope that you will really enjoy your Horoscope and find it very empowering and insightful for you in January. And without further ado, on to your January Horoscope. Hey Libra! Thanks for joining me. I'm excited to see what is going on for you in January 2017. Got your jumper right away. Spirit's ready to talk for you. Okay, Libra, January 2017. Forgive my hand movements if they look a little weird, Libra. I burned myself a little earlier, so my hand motions are a little off. Okay, sorry. She flipped out of your view, but I swear to God, she flipped on top. Okay. Libra, 2017. First month, Libra, January 2017. Libra, January 2017. Libra, January 2017. Wow. Libra, January 2017. Libra. Okay. Okay. Let's see, Libra. Now, Libra, if you haven't heard me say this in a previous video, if this is your first time, you're going to see me flipping over the cards that other readers might read as reversed or upside down, and that is because I read intuitively, so I listen to what Spirit has to say about the card, and I really don't pay attention to reversed or upside down as like an arbitrary muting or negativity of the image. I really listen to what Spirit has to say about it. So if they have a message of like, oh, this is different, this is less than, this is a perversion of the original message, then I definitely share that with you. But you will see me turn them right side up, and that is really just so that you can see the image and hear what your own intuition and your guides have to say to you, in addition to what Spirit and I see in the cards from here. Okay, so that is the end of my preface. Thank you for listening, Libra. Okay. Wow. Wow, okay, so the first thing Spirit is saying for you this month, Libra, is you've come a long way, and you're really going to see, I feel like, the fruits of your labor, some of them, in January. And conversely, you're also going to see how far you have to go. It's sort of like the early shows of the results of all of the work that you've done so far, which has been considerable. A lot of steps that you've taken, a lot of Spirit is even saying like registering for classes, paying for courses, like a lot of time, energy, and money invested into improving yourself. It's going to pay off, and it's also going to show you like, wow, this is how much further I could go. Like, if this is what I learned and this is what I was able to parlay out of what I learned from this, imagine how much further I could go. And for some of you, Libra, that could result in a little bit of like, I feel bad about myself. And don't go there. There's just no need. Like, nobody is perfect and nothing is perfect. So even if you got, and this is like Spirit getting very specific, it's like, even if you got your dream, whatever it is, like relationship, career, because these are general readings, Libra, so that there are different things for different people that are seeking, that are watching this video right now. But even if you got that dream man, woman, relationship, car, job, it wouldn't be perfect. It wouldn't be perfect. Even if you created it, it wouldn't be perfect. There's nothing in the, like, you are meant to grow, and to grow is to change. And to change is to constantly adjust. There is no such thing as like, oh, well, I got the job and now my life will never have a bump in it again. Like, whatever you reach, there will always be room for like needing to adjust and adapt. And that's going to be good for you. That's going to teach you even better equilibrium and really to hone your energy and to choose wisely. And it's no accident that, you know, Spirit's talking about you needing to choose wisely when choosing things is like your least favorite thing to do. Like, being decisive is like your Achilles heel. And Libra, it comes from a good place. You see the good and the bad in everything. You have a great objectivity. You have a great diplomacy to you. But in January, you really need to be a little less diplomatic and a little more decisive and judgmental even, because that is the Judgment card. And that is about kind of like waking up to a reality and making a decision that is life-changing. And if you're willing to make that decision, there is something like incredible on the other side of it. There is like, this is the Ace of Pentacles, which is like new money, new opportunity, because Pentacles are the earth element, which is like jobs, property, money, investments. Like, there is a seed of opportunity coming on the heels of you making a commitment to something. And a commitment can be to start something or to leave something, end something. It just depends, again, Libra, on your particular situation and what you feel. What does your intuition tell you? And if you do want a more personal, like a one-on-one reading, you can definitely book with me. I have linked my shop below if you're interested. But what does your own intuition say to you about that, Libra? What would be better left behind or better begun that hasn't yet begun for you? You've leveled up, Spirit is saying. Like, you've done all this learning and all this growing, and there's this new potential to step into. Are you ready to commit to it? And to commit to it does not mean that if you don't get it, you failed. To commit to it says, no matter how many times I fail, I've decided that I'm going to keep trying. Through every hilltop, like with victory, through every victory and every valley, every failure, I'm in this. I'm in this to win this. Like, and if I don't win, I did the noble thing by committing to it. So Libra, are you ready to commit to it? Are you ready to do what your faith is telling you to do? Are you ready to follow your North Star? Your purpose, that thing that is shown in your life since you were small, since you were little. You've had this talent or this vision or this ideal. And you're all about that, Libra. It's like, for a lot of you, that's like social justice. Like, this vision of how things should be, this vision of a fair and beautiful world where everyone is fed and everyone is loved. And then I really feel that that is what this is for a lot of you. Because again, general readings, but a lot of you, that is what you're feeling, is this world is so bountiful. Shouldn't we be able to take care of everyone if we were just fair, if we could just share and mix and allow for each other to influence one another in the best way? Then couldn't we have a utopia? And I say that because also we have the Empress card here. I mean, look at her. She's beautiful. She's fertile, pregnant. She's surrounded by lush, gorgeous things. And she's got the shield at her feet. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck where she has the shield at her feet. But she has the sign for Venus right over here. It's like cleverly hidden in her scepter. And in the original imagery, it's that heart-shaped shield with the symbol of Venus. She's receptivity. She doesn't even have to go out and do active things to get what she wants. And it's kind of funny because you get this reputation for like lazy Libra. But you're not lazy Libra. It's that you're so pleasant and charming that people often decide to give you things or do things for you, open doors for you. And I mean that proverbially and literally, like open doors for you to get you a job somewhere, open doors for you to give you a meeting with somebody that other people maybe haven't been able to get in contact with because you're just the right kind of person who spoke the right way to somebody who happened to have some influence somewhere. And wow, like Spirit came in with that very specifically. So that is definitely the case for some of you. Like some of you will be introduced to somebody like influential, or that just happens to know somebody who is influential in an area that you need. It's like a really, really fortuitous, felicitous kind of connection is what Spirit is saying. And I never use the word felicitous. I've never used that in conversation in my life. So Spirit, someone in Spirit is definitely spitting some cool Shakespearean stuff for you right now. Okay. Okay, Libra, this is interesting down here. I feel like some of you are hiding from a conflict that you need to have. And again, general readings, Libra, so I'm not accusing you of keeping anything from anybody or avoiding anything. It's just, but for some of you, it is like you've been kind of keeping your feelings under wraps because you don't want to have this conversation, this confrontation, this conflict, and for some of you, it's like a real, like a conversation to end something, like a breakup or like I don't want to be friends anymore or whatever it is. Like some of you don't want to say the thing that you know is going to cause friction, so you've just been kind of like ducking out of it. And there's no judgment. You're loved unconditionally by Spirit no matter what you do, but Spirit does talk about what is for your highest good. And in this case, they're saying that whether you like it or not, the conflict is coming to you. Like, and they don't mean that in a bad way or even really with a warning. It's more like you're not going to have to initiate anything. Even in a bit of quiet reflection, it's going to be brought to you. And I feel like the person whom you're going to be in conflict with is a very compassionate and kind-hearted person. And not unlike you, Libra, in the way that they are very approachable and very kind of diplomatic. So even if there is like a disagreement or even like a conflict, I feel that it will be handled fairly calmly and strictly verbally. Like there's going to be no deep barbs exchanged. It's more just a little bit of like a clash of wills, a clash of truths is the phrase that Spirit just used. Like you just see it one way and they see it the other. And I'm really feeling don't worry about that. And Spirit must be bringing it up because for some of you it's very important. Like this friend of yours is very close, or you think very highly of this friend and love this friend very much. And therefore, it's like you're going to be concerned about when this disagreement comes up. And they want you to know that everything is going to be fine as long as you are your diplomatic and Venusian self. Your very, like, charming and kind and empathic self. Like, always putting yourself in the other person's shoes before you say something. Or afterward, if you've made a mistake and said something that really was thoughtless. Which you can do at times, Libra. You can be... You're an air sign, so as sweet and charming as you are, sometimes you can say something without thinking about the emotional toll that it can take in another person. And that ends up wounding them more than you might think, because you just think that you're being honest, or you just think that you're being fair. So really put yourself in your friend's shoes or your loved one's shoes and consider how they're feeling about this, okay? And in January, okay, there needs to be a moment that you really take some time for yourself, Libra. Because as much as I was just talking about being diplomatic and making room for the other, you really need to also really establish a regular practice of time for just yourself, your growth, your study, because as Spirit was talking about earlier, that you've learned so much and you're going to learn more. So it's even like literally like, you know, like studying, like hitting the books, like this is what I want to do, so here's how I'm going to do it. Here, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to have to read about how to create a website or you know, ride a horse, whatever it is that you've been meaning to do, Libra. It's time to buckle down and take the steps. And sometimes taking the steps is like, okay, let me figure out everything, because you're, again, an air sign, you're research minded. Get the mental aspect of it down. Go ahead and get all the intangible background that you can, and so then when you're ready to do the practical application, maybe that's coming up for you in February. I don't know. You're definitely doing a lot in January. And again, remember, like they said, focus. Make a decision and make a commitment, because if you really make a commitment to what it is that you want, there's a lot of hope and energy there. There's a lot of great receiving that you could be ready to do there. Okay, now we're going to do your fiercely focused spread, Libra. Again, I just love some action steps. I love something, you know, as spiritual and faith and intuition based as tarot is. I really love some concrete advice about like, okay, but what do I do? So let's get your theme for January 2017, Libra. Libra's theme for January 2017. Ha! Once again, it's the same card, different deck, the Star. The Star, hope, faith, renewal. Oh, Libra. Libra, this is one of the best and happiest cards in the deck. This is like, it's out there for you. Chase your star. You don't need to know what every single step along the path is. And Spirit is saying many of you are trusting that faith, and this is just your affirmation. This is just your confirmation that you're on the right track, and that if you're feeling that you're moving in the direction that feels right, even if you've run into obstacles, even if it's hard, even if it feels painful at times, if you still feel committed to it in your heart, keep pursuing it with gusto. You're definitely getting validation to do that. Okay. And in conjunction with this theme, let's look at what you're supposed to do physically or financially is what I was going to say. What kind of earth element stuff do you need to invoke? And for you, Libra, unsurprisingly for your sign, it's all about harmony and sharing and wanting to be sure, again, as Spirit was saying, like, make sure that everyone has enough to eat, has enough to spend, has just enough, if everything is fair. Libra, you can do a lot with your talents. And I feel like a lot of you have been wanting to commit your talents to doing something more than what you've been doing. And Spirit is definitely affirming that. And for those of you that haven't thought about it, it's time. What can you do? What can you commit to? It's not like, I mean, fabulous. Yes, please. Like, do, you know, volunteer at a soup kitchen, or, you know, do, like, donate money. That's fantastic. But there's also talents that you have and skills that you have that you can offer in service of the world. So maybe you're a great writer and you can write really inspiring articles that spur people to action. Or maybe you knit and you can make some mittens and donate them, mittens and hats, and donate them to a shelter for the winter. Or maybe you play music and you could go to the old folks home, or again, like a homeless shelter, and just grab your guitar or your keyboard or your violin and prop yourself up in a corner and do something beautiful and share your gifts with the world. And Spirit's getting really specific there. So for some of you, that is something that you've been meaning to do or dreaming of doing, and it's time to bring your dream to life. It's time to do what feels right. Okay. Okay, Libra. Now mentally, what will you be thinking and speaking about or hearing about in January 2017? Libra, January 2017. Okay. So thinking that maybe you're not good enough. Thinking maybe that you're afraid of what comes if you pursue your dreams, if you leave your comfort zone, if you take the scary action and leave behind. I mean, comfort zone is a misnomer, right? Like, it's not comfortable. It's completely uncomfortable, but it's what you know, Libra, and it's time to leave it. You're ready to take off the blindfold. And again, there's no judgment, and tarot is not fatalistic. It's always within your free will to do whatever you choose. But Spirit is definitely validating that what you're afraid of is not... It's just not accurate. It's not going to happen. So if it's like, I'm afraid to leave this relationship, I'll always be alone, or there'll never be anyone better. No, not true. Same for a job or a career path. Like, oh my God, maybe I'll never be happy again. Like, no, that is not the case. Nothing is sure. Everything is always changing as Spirit. Like, wow, like the same thing they said earlier. Like, nothing is solid even when it seems so. So you just need to do what feels right, because, I mean, honestly, you could get hit by a comet a second from now, and this reading could mean nothing. What matters is that you be doing what fills you with energy and joy, and what feels like I'm in the right place at the right time. Wow. Okay. So that one jumped out before I could even introduce him, which is very much like the Page of Wands, actually, appropriately. Okay, so this is the wand suit. So this is about what, as I funnily enough was saying, what fills you with energy and what really lights you up and brings out the creative and spiritual aspects of you. And you can be spiritual and, you know, agnostic and atheist and all those things, and actually be, you know, well, I don't know about atheist, I suppose not. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter to what your allegiance is. Creativity is a form of spirituality because it is what leaps naturally from you. And the Page of Wands is about needing to share what you have, even if it feels like it's in its infancy. Even if at times you feel clumsy in doing this thing that you want to do, this talent or this skill that you want to share. And I'm feeling really, Libra, it's like kind of like you're comparing yourself. You're comparing yourself to people who are ahead of you and thinking like, gosh, I'm not nearly as polished as that. Like, I'm not nearly as, I don't have the money that that person has to make it happen the way they do, or have the lifestyle they do. And it's like, Libra, just do, again, what Spirit is saying, do what feels right. Do what feels like, It's like, do what feels right is a deceptive phrase only in this context, only in that it's like, oh, okay, but I feel afraid to do it, so maybe it's not right. And it's like, no, Libra. Do not convince yourself that fear is a barometer for what is your purpose or what you're meant to do. Actually, fear can be like a great indicator that you're on the right track to doing what you're meant to do. It's get outside of your comfort zone. It's do something you're a little scared to do. It would be like the equivalent of reading your poem or your essay or playing your song at an open mic when you've never done that before. It's not the equivalent of like getting out in a stadium of 40,000 and singing your first song ever. It's just like, put your toe in the water. And if you're really brave, put your whole foot in the water, okay? And if you're really brave, you can dive in. But Spirit is just asking you to put yourself out there a little bit, at least a little bit at a time. And Spirit is also saying that for some of you, someone is going to invite you to exercise your creativity. And even if you don't feel ready, it's time. Again, no judgment. Do what you want. But I'm really feeling that Spirit is like giving you the green light that like this would be a good time, this would be a good person. So now let us see what you'll be feeling, relating about what's going on in the emotional sector of your life in January 2017 for Libra. Wow. Okay, that's kind of funny because he jumped out before when I was wrapping the cards. Okay, Libra. So, very much related to this card, actually. It's like, don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in that uncomfortable comfort zone. You've got to believe that there is more out there for you. You've got to believe that that faith and that ideal that you've had ever since you were young, that is worth giving your time and energy to. That is worth devoting yourself to. And there is an opportunity at hand. There's an opportunity at hand, and it is specifically in January, and you've got to keep your eyes open, and you've got to know that it may not look like what you wanted or expected it to look like. Okay? This opportunity, Spirit and the universe has a much wider, deeper imagination to draw from than you do. So the goal or the catalyst that you envision, like and Spirit is talking about like the equivalent of like being discovered in a mall and rocketing to superstardom, that is not what it's about. It could come a very different way, even though that's what you thought would happen to you as a kid. Like, it's going to come something good and something that is like to be parlayed, to be capitalized upon. So don't miss it just because you're thinking like, man, this is what I really need to happen. This is what I really want to happen. Don't be so attached to outcomes, Libra, that you miss out on a really gorgeous outcome, because there is something really amazing and something really fulfilling out there for you, something really exciting. So you kind of need to get over yourself. And I mean that in the most loving way. I'm a Libra myself, if you haven't been here before and if I haven't said that to you. So I don't mean that derisively. You need to get over yourself and get over your fears and be willing to accept the beautiful cup that God is giving you, that the universe is giving you, however you'd like to say, the big good. There's something more for you, Libra. And whenever you're ready to wiggle out of your very loose restraints and go get it, it's right there for you. And I hope that you will tune in a week or two when your 2017 year ahead spread will be up, because I'm excited to see kind of maybe a little more about what this star is and where things are going for you all year long. Definitely click on that bell next to the subscribe button if you want to get notified, because I realize that they don't alert you unless you do that. So ring-a-ding-ding, Libra. Thank you so much again for listening. I hope that you find your reading really helpful and that it guides you very well through the rest of the month. And I hope that you will come tune in again to this channel in a couple of weeks when your full-on 2017 year-ahead forecast will be available, because woof, that's going to be a doozy. I'm excited to do that for you. And I'm wishing you a really wonderful, happy new year. I hope that, again, if you liked this, you will comment and subscribe and let me know what you thought, or find me on social media and hit me up there, because I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in February. Bye-bye.